back to the kitchen. I'm going to cook you eggs Benedict now. You need 2 pans, one sort of small saucepan, and depending on how many people are having eggs, one large egg pan. The first thing is that this is quite a quick dish, so you should be prepared. I like to do the toast first, and what I'll do is I'll put the toast on, not to do it completely, but to half cook it, and then later on I'll completely cook it, and it dries out a bit more like that. So you sort of you let it cool halfway through the cooking, turn it round, and then sort of cook it again. And boil a kettle. And what I'm going to do with the kettle is I'm going to stick it on the stove, stick it in the pan, and so I can put the eggs straight into it. I'm going to cook the eggs for 3 minutes boiled, so straight into boiling water. Take it off the cooker for after a minute, and then just leave it to sit for another 2 minutes, and it'll be done perfectly. Best thing is to put the right ring on. So poaching eggs isn't that difficult, but it's easy to get wrong. So in the little saucepan, what we're going to use is lime juice and white wine vinegar. You can use ordinary malt vinegar, you can use any kind of vinegar, cider vinegar, and you can use lemon juice as well, depends on your taste. I like the sort of extra acidity of the lime. So what we've got in there is about a capful of each, about 2 teaspoons of each. And what you need to do is put those both in the pan. And while that's just warming through, and it literally just needs to start bubbling, you don't need to boil it at all, just needs to start bubbling. You then take it off and put it in here. But first thing in here you need to do is to crack a couple of eggs. Now, I like to keep the whites and make some chocolate mousse later. So that's 1 yolk. 2 yolks, don't be too prissy about it. Doesn't matter if a bit of white gets in there. Set those aside, you can use them later. Then you can use any sort of, just keep an eye on that, any sort of mixer. You can use a whisk. If you want to do it by hand, it's more difficult. You could use a blender if you've got that. I use this hand whisk all the time. You just whiz it around for about 30 seconds or so, just to mix it all up. You'll see it changes colour a little bit. That's just as the air gets mixed in with the yolks. Now you can see this is steaming a little bit. It's just coming up to the bit where it's boiling slightly. It's got a very vinegary smell to this, but it's obviously tempered when you make Benedict sauce. I've got the pan coming up to the boil as well for the eggs in it, but that's now all I need for that. And I put this into here. It's just been just a little bit frothy around the edges, so it's boiling. You can hear it start to fizz. And just trickle it in while you're whizzing. Now you don't want to do this too fast because you'll end up cooking the eggs. You don't want that. You want it to mix up nicely. Take your salt, good healthy twist of sea salt and a good healthy twist of black pepper. So give it, it does need a bit of that. Just whiz that up again for good measure. Now, what you'll get is this sort of frothy looking mixture. It's quite weak and sort of it's, liquidy. Now, this is a pack of butter. This is a knife. Cut the butter in half. You're going to need that half. What I like to do with it then is to cut it into chunks and put it back into the saucepan that you just took off with the vinegar in it. So make sure you wash your hands after this because your fingers are going to be greasy. Right, so saucepan, always better than putting it straight on the hob. Stick that in there. What this will do, it will take up all the rest of the vinegar and the lime juice into the butter as it melts. So while that's melting, I'm going to put the eggs on, and I'm going to turn this toast over the other way because our toaster never cooks evenly. I'm going to re-toast that, and now because there are 3 of us eating, I'm going to put in 6 eggs. Just make sure that doesn't burn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, like I said, I'm going to let that come to the boil. But I'm going to start timing it. It's just about bubbling again. Obviously the eggs cool it down a bit. Wash your hands after that. Now we're nearly there. Make sure that's not. You can turn the heat off while this is doing the last bit of melting, just to make sure it doesn't burn. And as soon as that, it doesn't need to clear, it just needs to melt. So that's just about done. Doesn't take very long at all. Okay, the eggs are boiling back again now. So what you do with this, what you did before, whiz it. Make sure you don't cook the eggs. You just go whiz it and then just introduce it very slowly. A little trickle. Where the chef has to taste it, and you'll see it's just gloopy. Just different finger moves. Alright, now waste not one that. Nice. Right. Preheated the plate. Into each one of those. toast. Butter, toast. Then put a slice of ham. You can use bacon if you like. Sometimes if it's a breakfast Benedict, I will use some streaky bacon or something. So you put the ham on there, and the eggs are now done. So what you do with this is you get some kitchen roll and you take out each egg individually, just drain it off a bit. Just take all the water off. Oops, lost one there. Alright. So that's that, and then all you do, take a spoon of your Benedict sauce and just share it out evenly.